but certainly the opportunities were there before. If anything, it was theirs to lose. Now, the chance for revenge is there. KRU and FPX kicking it off on IceBox. And this pistol, we'll see FPX on the defensive side. I'm not sure that I even want to go near favorites in this, but I think that when it comes to FPX, they're the ones with some pressure on their shoulders. They're trying to defend their title, and right now, it's do or die.
Yeah, they've switched up their comp quite a few times on this map, just slightly, with Zipan again going back to the KO. Much more early information, but his overall aggression, especially on the attack, might be a little bit more difficult. It might just be a switch to actually help them on this defensive side, though, because if we remember last time, they kind of got smashed.
Yeah, for sure. Look, both teams had their flaws, let's say that. But when it comes to starting this out, I expect KRU coming in on the attack. This is where they can thrive. If they get this pistol, nice start to it, and it's only Sagetsu waiting here. That drone should push him way back. And he's got a wall. He won't be able to use it. A good cancellation. That's pretty much site control for free.
Yeah, that almost guaranteed after plant, but it will be an attempted retake coming through from FPX in just a moment. It doesn't even look like they're going to be able to delay. No utility really put out to try and weaken some of these players. They are just looking to go in as a full 5.
They've still got their wall for post-plant, and there's the opening duel with Kesnip falling. They need to find an answer on site. Hold on that little bit longer, and look at that. 2 quick kills coming through as players are dancing around the site, bypassing each other. Artis picks up another, a side angle for Angel, but it only keeps it into even numbers. 2v2, wall up, and now they've got to rush. They've got to take this fight, and Artis just won't go down. He's bought enough time. The defuse is undeniable, and the kill, although it's found in favor of KRU, the round is FPX's.
Yeah, I like it. Just saving the wall until the last moment, having it put down vertically as well, just to give them that extra little bit of option, to give them time, and then just Artis, again, off to a flying start. And we've already seen this once in this tournament, what Artis can do at his absolute peak. In fact, one of the times they actually came close to beating Fnatic on this map was him just tearing his opponents apart on that defensive side. So the fact that he's already looking, buying up a rifle going into round 2, I don't know. I feel like Artis has come to play today.
Hey, look, this is FPX things, right? They got their 3 rifles. They're coming in with a Spectre and a Ghost. We heard it on the desk. Mimi was talking about it. One of the first teams to pull this out of the bag, if not the first. And they've certainly been the most successful with these very strange second rounds. They can't afford to lose too many players, which is always the caveat. A very awkward fight in mid. And Mazzino's gotten right up close. Luckily, they're more than aware of the space they're giving up. So they'll fight that off. Although, at this point, they're dragging a lot of rotations, faking back to B late. If Artis goes down, that's a rifle. Oh, and it actually comes pretty close.
Toxin screen down.
Yeah, still, a lot of the time when it comes down to these eco rounds, you want to head into the ace-up just because the range advantage kind of dissipates. The pistol's given an opportunity inside Getsu's corner, not cleared. They've done a lot of damage to a lot of players over on the FPX side, Mitch, but only able to capitalize on one, and that one only had a pistol.
Exactly. Look, they've taken the shields off pretty much everybody, but they want to drop those weapons. That's where the value is found. Angel's going out and about trying to find some more kills. He's got to heal up as well, so a little bit more confident in taking those duels, and they've spotted Nags that he won't be able to use his pistol. Doesn't have any bullets in it anyways. They'll be taken down to close this round out 2-0. And that's exactly what FPX wanted, 4 players alive.
Yeah, now the thing I really want to mention about last time with KRU, they were very heavy on their B lean. They were able to get a lot of control using their Viper screen. They had the same wall they would place every single round with Sage. That would get them an afterplant, and then Kesnip would get cheeky. That's basically how they played every single B-site round, was him either flashing through their own screen and taking aggressive fights, or you'd have a much more passive hold, but he would still be in an aggressive position. So I'm interested to see how FPX have adapted to that, or if KRU are even going to continue to just pressure that B site in the same way, because in the early stages of this map, they've had a fairly heavy A lead.
I like this idea of doubling up, almost baiting Zipan at the start. And one thing on that, you come up against FPX, we saw the stat pop up moments ago, that they were 2-0 in rematches when it came to Masters Copenhagen. And the reality is, when you beat a team like FPX or lose to them, playing them that second time, Angel, having that second look at your team and how you play, it is terrifying.
Also, Doombros doesn't sleep.
Let's
also just remind people of that. He has like 18-hour days and just basically stays up all night to make sure this team is prepared. So anything you did last time, they're going to be ready for.
Exactly.
So that's actually why I think crew are leaning now more heavily over to the A side, because, okay, they've seen our B setup quite a lot. Let's throw down the screen on that side and now push into the A side instead.
That's exactly it. Now for FPX, their A retake was tested a bit. We saw it in the pistol round, and it was quite solid hold out of them. A wall up to deny control on that side, and attempting to pull them in, seizes, snake bites, everything on its way. FPX, though, not finding that contact. Crew are patient on this. They're not blitzing in. They've sensed a lot of presence. They want to kill to get them into that site, but now time's starting to become an issue. They've got to get a move on.
Oh, that's not the start they were looking for. Xiao already swinging onto Rumper, but Mazzino has been able to trade. Takes back in fact. All right, blink and you miss it. Everybody on the side of FPX dies within a second, and Ardis, well, I imagine he's a little bit confused as to what just happened.
Well, he's going to have to double up his kills, and they've spotted him as well. Insult to injury. You've got 4 players looking to take you down and make this bonus round not as costly for them. Already decent damage. And they'll walk out of that 2-1. Crew 3 players alive. Rez online. Solid foundations for the next round. But winning that one, even though they're against so many rifles, here it is again. Okay, I saw the Odin on Sagetsu, and
did you get a little bit excited?
I did.
You got a little bit excited.
No, he's not
isn't going to be
do it.
happening. But yeah, I think another battle to really talk about within this series, we mentioned Xiao as like that clutch player to almost give them OT and bring this one back. Mazzino versus Xiao is a huge battle in this game, because although they might be playing the Sage, it is very much of the battle era. Like, they are both going to be fighting, putting up high numbers and getting aggressive with this agent. Especially on that defensive side, they're going to be crucial. Nonetheless, again, we are going to see some early presence here from Ardis, ready and waiting for the fight.
You've already had that player down below making noise. With the drone coming through, someone needs to break it. If it spots Ardis, this is done. The wall! Ooh. I don't know how much that would have revealed. Again, even with the mini-map at that point, with a wall in that position, yeah. I'm not sure. But either way, he is staying in that position, holding the control, and Angel is caught at a sneaky attempt out of Nags to move through mid. 1 player down, Rez is online. Going to mid to Rez, though, with a minute on the clock. There's an option to do that.
Yeah.
Do they want to? And we're seeing right now, it doesn't appear to be the case now. They know that Ardis is here. They know he can't get out, and he's gone.
Good clearance. And actually, Delzik has found another. Catching Zipan as well. Will they expect the 3rd player to be here? Angel's actually rotated in that little bit earlier after being spotted in mid, but it does seem like they're very aware of this check, and Xiao can only do so much.
They've got that res now to bring him right back online. They need more than just the 1 kill, and they'll find them! Sagetsu came in to save the day!
Alright.
He heard that res and took it as a challenge. Another ult orb for him. And he's now got his Viper's Pit online. Xiao's got the res. Ardis, tour de force. This is a crazy strong position for FPX.
These last couple of rounds have not gone the way I expected to. Each time it was like, okay, they're pushing into a stack site, and then Crew just get all the kills within a second. And this time, it looked like the read from Crew was fantastic. And then Saigetsu, the thing that's beautiful about that 3K from Saigetsu is he picked his battles. He goes for the player that can kill him in each fight. The res going through, he just ignores.
There's Viper's Pit on command. Had it ready just in case he was going to be hit by that knife, which indeed he was. Now that control is denied completely. Hey, all right, well, you don't want to go towards the Viper's Pit. You turn back, you think, maybe we'll try the B site. They can't get anywhere near it. And not to their teammates, at least. These players now cut off completely, and they pretty much need Viper to come back and, yeah, get that orb down. No. Oh, we're taking a lot of risks here.
It's like he only has 3 bullets left. Let's try and reduce. Oh, okay. Did they both connect the shots there?
They must have.
Because there's actually an assist coming through as well from Delzik. They've made this one at least a little bit more competitive. The problem is clearing that Viper's Pit is still going to be incredibly difficult. And while Ardis has already been brought back and they've rotated away, so they can't even deal with it.
Hey, these guys have pistols in this round, Tom, and you've already got a tour de force, a Viper's Pit, and a res burned up by your opponents. Already a good round for Crew, to be honest. And now they might be able to get to this site. They've actually got the space to walk up. And what happens when that Viper's Pit goes down on B? I think FPX are starting to make that realization. They need to be here. The duel, and duel they shall. Delzik, if you're going to pop the ult, you're doing it practically alone. In fact, not alone. No, that's an awkward fight.
Who are you and what have you done with Xiao? Right, that doesn't that man doesn't miss easy shots. And, okay, Artist is going to make sure that they're not going to get away with too much more. Nax has already had to retreat and actually pulls out the tour de force. Man thinks he can win. He was wrong.
Hey, I love the confidence. Sometimes you gotta just believe, but that faith was clearly misplaced. Not using the Viper's Pit, but using the tour de force.
The thing is, he can afford an operator going into this round anyway. So it's not really that much of a loss. It's something like we've seen Durka do it in the past. Pop it in that 1v3, take it home, and everybody's going to be singing his praises. Doesn't connect the first shot, unfortunately. But yeah, you said it. They dragged out a lot of ults. The thing is, for FPX, it's not too bad. The round's not particularly costly, and they're at least earning up a little bit of extra cash along the way. And you can see Artis, again, off to a flying start, but also having the operator of his own. So it's going to be the first time we see that proper battle. Ult economy, though, actually quite heavily in favor of KRU here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. FPX had this opportunity to be massively ahead at this point, to be able to challenge pound for pound with most of these ults, but they used so much of it to secure versus an eco, and then someone like Artis will just come through. Opening duel already secured, KRU on the back foot. The player they lost is Kesnet. You're not taking Artis' utility away. He has got a way out for the rest of this round, and he is currently not looking for a way out. He wants to try and catch some kills. Eventually he'll reposition. From here, I mean, it just becomes a time drain on KRU. Where are they going to take it? I'm not even sure they know. They're faking out B with a drone. They've got a wall to play with there. And hopefully that drags FPX rotations. But as we can see, it is not.
The thing is as well, with the composition switch, like, you're going to need much more in terms of the Rays being aggressive. Whereas with the KO, you can basically just use that knife for information. You can pop flash into angles. There's a lot less risk in everything that FPX are doing. And then you've also just got Artis roaming the map. And while he's got support from Zipan, this is looking worryingly easy at this point for FPX. They've had multiple individual duels. They have taken themselves a 3-man lead, and no space has been garnered whatsoever for KRU. They're stuck in the mud, and you have to bear in mind that both teams won 9-3 attacking halves last time around.
Not the start that we need for this team. And, you know, when you see some of these duels and how annoying Artis has become, a player we highlighted, of course, we highlighted the last time he played. He went nuclear on Fracture. The reality is, when you look at the position they're currently in, they might not even get out with a rifle. Oh, almost serves as a bait. Zipan coming from above. A 5th now secured. And this is the thing, FPX are looking clean. Artis has now caused so many problems in these early fights that if you're KRU and you want to push up and take some map control, you're going to have to pay for that. Because so far you're paying for it with your life. They're going to make the exchange now where utility is going to be used a lot more liberally. It's going to be thrown into clear angles. You'll be flashing those peaks because you don't know where Artis will be. Best example, he pushed A last round or held an aggressive angle, got the kill. Now he's back over to B. You can't be safe no matter where you go.
Yeah, and you can see building up for maybe a slightly faster paced takeout from KRU. I think they need to do that. At the moment, they've been allowing FPX to sit back, patiently wait. Was there something behind that? Was there any information, or did Sagetsu just decide to take a shot at the perfect timing? He has also been having a very solid game. Kesnet has been able to get one, but even still at the back of this site, he's just causing them issues. Even takes a 3rd with him, and now only the Stingers remain.
Still that pit online that could be dangerous, and Delzic's got another kill. There it is. The pit's going to be used, and this is the right moment for it. You're up against Artis with an operator. Not going to be easy for him to garner that value. In fact, he will abandon that scoped weapon where he's found so much success. The man is equally as capable with a rifle. This isn't easy, but having to fight into that pit, it makes Mazzino's stinger an op, almost, if he manages to catch you at the right time.
Even just trying to slow them down. And misleading them as well. That slow, they know exactly where that came from. So you can see all the angles that are needing to be cleared, and Mazzino is just patiently waiting for this push to come around the backline. So as you mentioned, if they go into this pit, the more deadly he becomes by the second. The timing, though, has gone desperately wrong. He's still going to spot out Xiao. Too easy off the back of the SMG, and Artis has no choice but to fade away and save. A big round coming out of KRU, one that they almost definitely shouldn't have won, and it's something that might also call into question the defensive side of FPX a little bit, because they've been able to hold onto utility, be patient, almost use their ults reactively to catch them out later in the round. Well, if KRU are going to pick up the pace, you can't do that so much.
And oh, look at the gap.
That's disgusting.
One of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. Wow. That's got to be frustrating. But despite that little trick, they don't win the round. Crew have come ahead, and now they're calling a timeout, but let's examine what they've learned. They played slow. They tried to take map control periodically and burn down that timer of the round, sneak a guy through mid, sneak a guy onto A for the early info, and every time they would pretty much run into Artis. This time, they up the pace, they don't hit the side Artis is on, but they managed to make it in. I'm expecting from this point, Crew starts to go towards this much more heavy pressure push in, but then the question is, how are FPX going to approach the A-hold? You're probably not going to have success with just running in there a second.
That's the thing. The thing that FPX have done to make this very awkward for them, and that's why I think we've seen Zipan move away from the Raze, is the amount of information they can now get without having to take as many risks is a hell of a lot more. So like you think about last time they were trying to hold the B defense. It was Zipan and Artis both pushing, and in most cases they only traded evenly. Now you have Artis pushing aggressively with a get out of jail free card, and then you have the Knife, which gives them everything they could have ever needed and some delay utility as well. So it's a lot easier for them to do that, and you're seeing, for example, Angel at times using his utility a little bit more nonchalant. Like he's gonna throw it in like, oh okay, I can just use this now because I have a teammate that also has the utility to back it up. So the comp change, I think, even though you might look at something, it's 2 and 4, the differences in the way that they're playing are massive. I
mean, even just a round or two ago, they used the Fatal to detect the Fate. They threw it out because they're like, okay, these guys are telling us we're coming B. You're droning, you're walling.
Already.
Now there's only 2 guys there. And here, again, that information found right off the bat. Crew pumped the brakes.
Look at the aggression on A. It's a push and pull. Like they go, okay, we know there's 4 people here. There could be maximum 1 player on the other side of the map. Let's just aggressively take A control. We can already rotate. We've got 3 players in, 1 holding mid. Like, this setup is purely off the back of 1 KO Knife.
Oh, no, Delzik. He spotted him. He's seen him. That's at least the information, but how do you challenge Artis from that angle? Delzik, the man with the wall, surely not the one to go forward and swing out. I saw him just jump peek it, but that's about all just to make sure he wasn't getting up close. They'll grab a plant out of that, and that's a very successful push for Crew. Still with the wall to use right now.
Just placing it down just to try and, again, delay them on the rotation. They've done well here. Just almost disrespected the KO ult and get that space instead. The after plant is something that Crew are fantastic in when we saw them previously, and now Nags can almost sit back and wait for the fight. He's going to connect, but I think it was only a leg shot.
All the defuse was tapped, but the kills are coming through. Hunter's Fury to confirm they're not on it, and we reset again. More passive. It could have been, but they went out. They wanted to take some of these fights, and now they're forced into the angle. Zipan, 3 kills. If he had 4, that would have been remarkable, but Crew just about pull it off. Saving the op as well. This has been a great resurgence from them in these last 2 rounds.
I really like the fact that they actually almost just disrespect FPX there, because FPX used the null command to take away their wall, take away the screen, basically just not have much to get into the site with, and Mizzino just goes, you know what, I'm just going to plant anyway. If you want to swing me, you're going to have to deal with one of my teammates. So the fact that there was nothing there for FPX to actually deny them, I just don't think they were expecting them to actually stick that plant. And again, that's where Crew have been so strong, is those B-site after plants. They've been fantastic. The interplay, the synergy, even the utility at times has been very, very good. That's what FPX has tried to deny throughout this game, and this is the first time they failed.
Taking a look at the A-side passive. Obviously, Artis looking to get a kill, fall back out with the operator. The rest of the team, they're stacked up and now looking to get aggressive. They've only got pistols to play with, so why not? Low HP, thanks to the C's. Fantastic start. 1-to-1 trades in a round like this, especially when Artis is floating around with that operator to recover, is great. But if you keep going forward, you're running into a firing squad. You'll lose the site. They'll walk in and plant, and Artis then has to save. Instead, they reset. They pull back, try to find some opportunities elsewhere, and really, I think, just cross their fingers and hope somebody walks into that operator's line of sight.
Instead, they're going to look to push down into this B-side. As I said, they had so much success there prior, but the spam from Xiao has actually managed to completely remove Kesnet from this scenario. Now, they do manage to get themselves to block, but again, Xiao just swinging. These Sheriff shots have been nasty. He had a few whiffs earlier, but instead, he's already managed to force back another. A 3v2 in favor of FPX right now.
And it's Xiao then peeking and getting that up to fire and fall back. It's given Artis the angle, but now, oh, he's actually gotten him through the pit. Nags has to get on there. They tap the defuse. They could be on it, and they're not. He's found that out the hard way, meeting Artis' Sheriff. This round played so meticulously by FPX. From the get-go, you can see the intention, and what I love about it is that call to cancel the push. They get their one-to-one trade, they say, there is no advantage now. We've lost the element of surprise, let's fall back and have Xiao wallbang and do this, you know? It's all part of the plan.
That's the thing. This is the mix that FPX always seems to have. Like, they have so many superstars and so many moments that I feel like you just can't really fathom while watching them. And as I said, like Xiao in some of the earlier rounds, a bit whiffy for Xiao. It wasn't instant headshots, and he's now shown us why.
I didn't see him collat headshot anybody, so that's...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Below average.
He needs to wake up. Where's the 3K collats? Come on. 3 rounds left to secure it. And look, for KRU, as you said, last time this was an attack side heavy map. Now, these teams have had to go back to the drawing board. They're both intimately familiar with how they each played last time. It's a whole new world here. I wouldn't be surprised to see KRU have that resurgence on the defensive side, but from what we've seen so far, FPX have looked incredibly clean. KRU have had some good rounds. We need to see that consistency, and now their economy's against the wall. They're very mixed bot. It'll be hard to find value in this round.
Xiao's in position. He's actually got the res online, so even just taking this angle seems a little bit risky, but at the same time, with 4 players already backing up, you've got positioning as well from Xiao and Saigetsu, mid being held as well, and they're just being able to delay. The knife doesn't actually manage to take away any of the utility on the other side, so now you're seeing snake bites and slows even being thrown in, and they've only got 35-second Mitch. They have to move soon.
They absolutely do. And Xiao's gone. Quick trade, Saigetsu gonna hold on back yellow as long as he can. But that timer, it might not be so much of an issue, not with the space they've carved out for themselves. The plant, the wall being broken open, but I think we're still safe. The spike is gonna go down. So will the player planting, but they've now got the time on their side. They still need to win the duels with disadvantages. Kesnet, he has his ult. More importantly, he has the Vandal. We've lost Klaus, the pistol player, for a bit of information, but the trade is there with Artist gone. They're holding on strong. Stronger than expected. It's only Angel left. And Delzik just delivered in every single duel. KRU, they will get away with this low by round. They could equalize.
I guess balance has been restored, kind of. Like, you had Xiao managing to win the round with the Sheriff, and now you've had that on the other side with just some crazy shots being connected. Again, it is just these B-site executions from them, and the second the plant goes down, you just feel like KRU are going to win the round. They are so solid in their crossfires and just their individual play once their opponents are pushing towards them. And to almost play back into the point you made a moment ago, you have to bear in mind the trade-out that FPX have made is that they no longer have that raise anymore, which is going to take a lot of the initiation when it comes to that second half. So that being lost, I still think Zipan can do a lot with the KO, like being able to flash into angles and take those fights. But I do think the elevation that they've lost will be something that's missed. Think about how many times he just instantly blast-packed into that upper B position. Like, that was something he did almost every single round. He cannot do that anymore. So I do agree that although this scoreline looks really damning, when you think, oh, okay, last time it was 9 rounds on both attack halves, it's not as damning as it might seem. Yeah,
in the same way that FPX have fielded a very strong defense, kind of expect the KRU, having picked this map, having gone back and studied, and with the changes made to FPX, they shouldn't be having a weak second half. They'll know that. This timeout from FPX, I think, is even pointing towards it. Yeah. They don't want to end up equalizing. They need every inch that they can get in this half here.
Yeah, of course, both teams facing elimination, both teams with high expectations. I would love to see the pick'ems to see how many people had Exet going through as one of the top teams and, well, these two fighting out.
I wonder who would have had that, huh?
Do you even do pick'ems?
I did this time. It was more depressing than I had imagined. Okay, no TP. Artist is kind of in trouble here. He's got the op for the team. Now next round, he'll have his tour de force. So he's missed the shot, but Xiao, he's made a both. Artist, what's happening?
He used up all his power in the first few rounds, it seems. A few whiffs that might actually cost them. Mazzino's managed to find Angel trying to be a bit cheeky, sneaking through. And the remaining couple, well, Saigetsu has at least managed to get a rifle. He's had some nice rounds so far in this game, but this would be a lot.
It wasn't pretty to start us out there. It'll be a completely different round that we're facing into. A few missed shots and leaves it down to economy damage, which the final round ain't gonna matter that much. Okay. Getsu. He was almost almost in trouble.
I think it's financially they can buy. So even if he's just earning up a couple of ult orbs, it might actually be worth it. But it seems like just holding that rifle through into the next round is going to be the point of call. Although it's actually gone back in. As I said, it doesn't make the biggest of differences going into the next one. Delzik, I actually want to highlight him. I feel like he's had some really high impact kills over this game. In fact, he's 14-5 at the moment, which, especially when you talk about this team, it's another one where I feel like we lean into Crew being quite top heavy in terms of the fragging ability. Like, you've got Kesnet, Mazzino, Nags is very up and down, and then you have the more supportive players. The fact that he is currently 14-5 and Kesnet and Nags are down at the bottom of the board, it shows that maybe there's a bit more depth than we expected.
Well, this round here, Artis, he has his tour de force, don't worry.
And a stinger.
He's not playing the stinger. We're going to go right away in for some aggression, but that's a problem. Couldn't use his ultimate if he got caught.
Take flight.
He got out of there just in time. But again, once they forced him back, that's where I feel like Artis hasn't had the same level of success. And I think over the last few rounds, Crew have done very well just to remove him from the scenarios he wants to be in. Like in the early rounds, think about how far forward he was getting his openers. Now, he has to TP away before he can even take a shot.
And already you see a drone burns up one of those bullets. Mazzino spamming the ice wall again, costs another bullet. He wants to blind fire through on the angle when it breaks. Came close, but no reward for his troubles.
Out of charges.
Come into this last minute of the round, and Crew are set on the A side. They will be coming in here. But that's just been spotted. Old's receiving all of the information. Mazzino going to be in trouble here with the Hunter's Fury, catching most of them. I mean, they're all stuck inside these little angles on the way in. Angel falls right away. Artis only good for one. It looks like we might have a strong spot to play from for Crew. At least equalizing, but the spike's down in the open.
Oh,
what
no!
an aid!
He's gone down, and it leaves Mazzino alone. We saw him pull off a 1v4 versus this team before. Two shouldn't be too difficult, but Saigatsu just about holds on to an advantage. It was a fight back from Crew all the way through that half, but what was looking like an incredibly dangerous position, Mitch, it's winnable.
I thought maybe they could scrape together an okay round, but actually, an okay half. In the end, 5 seems like a pretty good recovery. I'm not sure about this next half, though. You know what? I'm sure our analyst desk is.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's be honest. That did not start pretty for Crew at all. FPX looked like they were slaying. Welcome to the half, everyone. Golden Boy here along with Mimi and Brandon. Let's just jump right into this one, Brandon. Talk about one of the players that has been popping off this game. Artis, right out of the gate. So impressive from him.
Guy's been dominating, I think, on the chamber. He's been enabled really well as well. We kind of commented on that compositional change where Zipan is now playing that KO. But look at the difference between the first half of IceBox on day 4, their initial match versus each other, and now today. The numbers are just really amplified. And this is because he's got a lot of peace of mind. He's able to play much more aggressively with the chamber, holding down deeper angles because of the constant information that Zipan is giving him with the knives all the time. But also, the guy is also just hitting his shots. It's an important factor to consider that you got to have when you're playing chamber, is that this guy is just on an absolute tear right now.
Yeah, this half came down to a lot of retakes, and I think that the double initiator composition was really good to get him on these angles, to get him in the fight with the operator, with that headhunter when they are playing these retakes. Artis stepping up is absolutely massive for this team. But as we look towards the second half now, you have to call back to the first match between these two teams, where attacking sides were the dominant feature. That hasn't seemed to have been as much the case here. FPX came in and actually made some really big improvements to how they were playing on their defense. Crew's able to rebound, get themselves a solid half, but they're going to have come back in and thought of some new ideas to play this defense, particularly when they're up against those lurks that have been shown to be really effective from FPX.
Yeah, and I think there's a big question regarding this compositional change as well, because it has made FPX better on their defense side of IceBox. We just witnessed it, but now we're going into the attack side, and there is going to be that oomph taken out of it with Zipan not playing the Raze in this circumstance. He's going to be playing the KO. I'm not saying it's like a 1-for-1, oh, it's so much worse, because FPX are an intelligent team. They shouldn't be taken aback by that too much. Yeah,
he's been quiet thus far. This is his chance to rebound, get aggressive on that KO.
All right, well, you heard from our analysts to see how this plays out in the second half. Mitch and Tom, back to you.
Well, 7-5. 2 rounds in it. This pistol could bridge the gap. Certainly, if you're Crew, that's what you're hoping for. Artis on a 3-0 first kill to first death. I think that's been tangible. He's been decently
I think most of the time
they
they were forcing him back with utility, so it wasn't they were
yeah.
killing him off, and I think the crew made some decent adaptations. I do, however, think they need the pistol. Like, last time they were fighting from an advantage, still didn't manage to take it over the line. Now they're fighting from a disadvantage, and well, they've got one in this round as well.
Straight away, Angel the one finding that kill. He took a shot, but he gave one better. Crew gonna be forced into a retake. That wall alone should cost them so much time, but with an orb and a snake bite down, they're kept back for a moment. Still, in the end, you see this wall is buying them more than enough space. They've lost Artis in the meantime, though. A valuable pick for Crew, taking that headhunter out of play already.
Are they actually going to play around the wall? They're gone aggressive. The flashbang through, but it doesn't catch Delzik. Even still, the trade back, but Mizzino keeps the advantage in their favor.
Viper wall saving them a little bit almost. What a shot from Xiao! The right click was working. Mizzino is able to return it and take that third kill, closing out the round and getting that much needed pistol for Crew to start this comeback.
Yeah, I like the idea from FPX. Like, they try and catch them off guard with a little bit of aggression while they're caught breaking the wall, but I just think the flash didn't quite catch Delzik on the other side, and that was what made the difference. It gave just that little bit of extra time for Mizzino to get back into position, and wow, he didn't really miss from then onwards. And that's the thing. I don't think there are many players that you will find on this map in particular who play better than Mizzino. Like, he just seems so comfortable, and already getting off to a strong start on that defensive side. A lot of the time, he's going to be that A-site anchor, causing issues for the team as they try to get in. So it'll be interesting to see if he's going to be able to move himself even further up the scoreboard.
Snake bite to deny early control. Crew are looking to hold the spot on B. They know there's two players here now. If you're on the side of FPX, you know that you've just spotted a chamber. You had a snake bite come through moments ago, but they weren't ready for him to be tucked in that nasty little corner. Some more damage delivered by Delzik, and this eco not off to a fantastic start. They at least got the orb for their troubles.
Yeah, and then they get slaughtered. Prime Gaming flawless to take things home. Of course, the way that Crew are playing these bonus rounds is not similar to what you'll see from FPX. It's not like they're going in low on a couple of players. They're every single player invested into the SMGs. So I almost expect them to do something a little more risky, maybe have a deep B push-up or the same on the other side, because ultimately they are going to have a big weapon disadvantage going into this round.
Yeah, I think the last thing you want to do is come in here and try to play range if you're Crew. Now, obviously, Nags has the benefit of the headhunter, but outside of that, your Bulldog on Klaus locking down mid, but on the sites, you gotta get close. You gotta tuck into those corners. Now, it looks like exactly what you said, Tom. That B push has come through. They're now up close. But the thing is, they were heard putting down that anchor. I'm almost certain of it.
Yeah, but the thing is, knowing he's there is one thing. Clearing him is it's going to be a very different one. Getting into that position is going to be difficult. You can already see the rest of the team just stacked up outside A, waiting for some sort of aggression. It's very patient from FPX at this point. A team very happy to hold on to their defaults. The fact is, though, Crew really aren't giving them anything other than that aggression onto the B site. It's actually quite a passive hold. They are reliant on Nags to get the job done. And it seems like he's going to have that first engagement, and he's going to win it. Was that the spike?
That was the spike. Angel's being dropped the rifle on the floor, and
I have the spike.
well, the spike will be recovered as well. Now we move somewhere as FPX. I see players are actually creeping up on A. The spike being dropped and a little bit of noise made has dragged rotations. It's dragged a lot of rotations, Tom. I mean, obviously, when you're playing these low lies, you'll be much quicker to jump onto a site and try to stack up, try to use numbers to your advantage. Unfortunately, that means that FPX should be able to get a plant in here, although they're under a lot of pressure. The wall's broken open! Xiao has just broken open the round! What a beautiful double!
Yeah, they relied on Mizzino's wall to maybe try and push them into position. A nice couple of kills, though. Swinging back almost instantly. This round is looking far more competitive than maybe it should do, and the timing has worked out wonderfully for Nags. It's going to go down into the 1 versus 1. Saiketsu with a huge weapon advantage here, and only 5 bullets left to try and get something done with the Spectre. He's going to have to switch over to the Sheriff, but the shot's just not connecting. Needs 1 to that head, and it's going the other direction. Just 3 HP, and eventually After the most awkward duel of all times, we'll get them an 8th, but it was not pretty.
No, this might look like, you know, a round win on paper, but FPX should never have lost that
Is that going in the post-map highlight?
Yeah, that
I think
whole duel. Just that duel. Take everything else out.
Maybe some comedic music.
That was something. Oh yeah,
I like
just the last few shots.
Max runs out reloading. So I'll stare him down. I'll stare him down.
He had a headhunter too, right? 2 bullets in it. I feel like that was maybe overlooked, but in the panic of the moment, it's understandable. 8-7, full buy coming through for both teams, but all their money is now on the table. This is the one that defines who gets that strong start, because ultis will start coming online, and if you've got those rifles for the next round, well, that's an inherent advantage your opponents will not have.
Power of the Fade. Prowler already gone. In fact, Angel is without a lot of utility at this point. It's looking like they're really trying to pick up the pace, at least early in this round, but after not getting the success they wanted, they've actually fallen all the way off. A full rotation almost coming in. 3 players on the A site. 1 actually, well, in fact, 2 kind of watching into mid. I like that, though. They throw out the drone. It still gives them some information that there's players close, but they've now started to rotate back. Crew not falling for any sort of ruse here.
Yeah, having that trap and the mid control that they've spotted out is allowing them to move elsewhere. I mean, the problem is we've seen Crew get into those aggressive spots around here. Like, they're going to spend so much time clearing these angles. If Crew get the read and make that rotation, they could make it so difficult to get that plant down. But FPX seem to be storming the castle at just the right time. There's actually a white beam coming out. They've gone straight into the spawn, and that duel was not expected. That's completely caught them off guard, and every fight is going into FPX's favor. Nags eventually answers back. It's 1, but there's 3 more players to find, and a Viper's Pit to battle into.
Yeah, I think even with a couple of players facing a little bit too aggressively, just with the amount of time left, a Viper's Pit to play up against, and a little bit of utility, but an operator onto Nags, it's not going to be worth the risk. So just going to fall off. A 9th round will be bought. I do really like the fact you might look at Angel there and you think, oh, it's a Fade, swinging very aggressively. He'd used all his utility.
Yep.
The only thing he could get is the Haunt back online, which that late into the round really wouldn't have had that much value. So he just throws himself in as the entry fragger, lets the team set up behind him because you have that distraction. You can then have the Viper's Pit in, and then there's not really that much chance of a loss of the round. And if Angel dies, doesn't matter.
Angel's a true leader. He leads from the front. It doesn't matter what agent he's playing, and I do enjoy that. I think that...
I enjoy it most of the time. when he was driving an operator on Haven.
Yeah, with a breach at the start of every round. Maybe we could have done without that bit, but yeah, most of the time it's always very enjoyable to watch because there's a method to the madness. With the Brimstone, when he uses up his utility, same thing. I'm now the guy running in because what else am I doing?
Especially in this composition as well, where you don't have that out-and-out aggressive agent to do that.
You just need someone who's bonkers, and Angel ticks those boxes. Nags, I mean, we saw this exact position work out so well for Artis. Will FPX use utility?
Yeah,
well, they
every
will.
round.
Right away, and he's in trouble. That was a tag.
Yeah.
Zipman down to 50. I think he's gotten out of that situation smelling a rose as he should have smelled of something else.
This is a weird purchase as well. Like, this is somewhat of a half buy alongside the rifles they had. We've seen the Stingers bought up quite regularly throughout this tournament from the Chilean players, I will say. Or maybe an Argentinian thrown into the mix as well. It's still going to be the setup into the A site. And there's a couple of players pushing very close through this, but they're going to be spotted up and have to fall back.
All the control now taken. Artis up top. He's got teammates swarming the site. They still need to find those duels, carve out a bit of map control for themselves, and little do they know how many players are waiting or the dangers that are there. The Op has picked another. This is starting to look pretty poor. FPX need to get a duel on their side. Pop the ultimate to try and bridge the gap slightly, but short of a big fight here and now, this is going to be tough to hold on to.
The thing is the weaponry. There's a huge disadvantage at the moment for Crew. Well, Artis just turns it back into their favor. It's left all onto Mazzino. He gets the timing almost perfect, but Zipan once again, a triple, and he's had a few of those throughout this half. I believe the first half he was down on 8 kills, but he has started to climb up that board a little bit more. 10-7. Ults are plenty on either side. The fact is, though, Crew need a round, and they need it now, and they're going to take a timeout for that.
Yes, this is the strongest position they have to play from, but also one of the most dangerous. As you said, those ultimates for both sides are now online. You have a Viper's Pit over on Crew that I imagine we're going to see put down. It's so frequently used, but even as I glance at the minimap, I see Vipers starting out towards the B side, so it ain't going to be that typical A ult coming through. When I think about Crew's perspective, it really is now or never. If they don't show up in this round, they've got no money. I presume they're going to throw some ults into this round as well. Even just nags on the tour de force. This is their last timeout as well, the final chance to level things out, unless we end up in an OT or further. 3 rounds behind, it's not pretty.
Yeah, the thing is, I feel like such a good job is being done by FPX to almost nullify Nags' aggressive positioning. Sure, he was still able to get a couple of kills just from the back of side, which might have been a slight oversight from them, but it's the same problem that we saw towards the end of the half for Artis. It's like, if you're being forced out by utility every single round, either you're losing any map control, which was a huge part of the plan, like you have to gamble rotations much more quickly, or you're just being isolated and have to fall back and give up complete control. So I think FPX are doing an excellent job there. Of course, we're also just seeing their stars online. In those clutch situations, the late rounds, and even just low economic positions, we're seeing players like Artis just pop off, and that's exactly what FPX need.
Well, that's it. He had a few whiffs. That round where he whiffed twice, that was more than, I think, the entirety of the tournament so far. Like, it was shaky. But oh, that fight on mid is won by Nags. Of course it is. Of course. What a fantastic flick. And, well, the man that we say is going to get a little bit
Oh, that's just me.
into rhythm is now being killed twice in a single round.
I like how Kesnet steals it as well.
Up, quadruple up. Every kill is theirs. My God.
Yeah. Just catching every single fight. Dowsing really has been on fire today. A Prime Gaming flawless to give another round over to Crew. It's not necessarily something I think will be repeatable, but I like the strat. You not only have that aggressive chamber position, but you have your KO alongside it, ready to throw the pot flashes, ready to aggress with it, and you have the ult ready just to counter out the res. They were very much prepared for anything FPX threw into that round.
This is a fantastic hold from Delzik as well. I mean, the action around middle, it's self-explanatory. The tour de force, you had the Hunter's Fury, you had the follow-up aggression from Kesnet. It was a fantastic plan on the mid-crunch, but if Delzik falls without a kill, without 2, that round is recoverable for FPX. He has single-handedly locked that one down for them and given them the lifeline they needed. They're now 2 behind, but FPX are on a bit of a weakness. Obviously, Artis has got his tour de force, but we've seen that be stolen out of his hands a few times. Luckily, the knife already out. It's on the other side of the map to him. As his teammates can't really do too much about this, and Mazzino's stuck down below.
Yeah, isolated early. There were a couple more players here, but were forced out by that Nightfall. And now Artis is posted up on an aggressive angle. The thing is, this is going to be a position that's very, very difficult for them to clear. They have a Viper's Pit, but they need more space before that can properly be used.
Yeah, they have got a retake wall to work with at the very least, and now a utility taken out of Artis' hand. No operator for him, no tour de force anymore. He's got to wait, and he won't be able to survive long enough to get it back online. Nags on a tear, taking head after headshot, and oh, he's going to drop down below. He's heard the steps. He knows at this point they've got to sprint, they've got to run halfway already. Sagetsu needs to round the corner, and he's being defused under his nose. Crew are up to 9. What a round from Nagsit.
I thought that he might just be able to wallbang him just at the end after he was vulnerable, but yeah, just a slight oversight. FPX losing players slightly too quickly, and then just because of that, it had to be the full sprint to the finish for Sagetsu, and unfortunately, not quite quick enough. That must be frustrating. Again, a position of power, ultimately, for FPX, but a huge play coming out from Nag, starting to step up over the last couple of rounds, and now distance down to 1, but more importantly, all those ults are gone for FPX, and their weapons are slipping.
All those ults are gone for FPX, and on Crew's side, not so much. They've got 2, about to have 3 online, and they're close to equalizing. On the verge, win this round. FPX have no money, no ults to make up for it, and a lead is essentially yours. The weight lifting from Crew's shoulders, but they still need to handle this one. Great utility destruction, and a nice shot from Kesnet.
It's not been his best game, but I think if they take the map, he's not going to mind. Mazzino is normally so solid from those positions, but he's isolated out. The early fight that benefited them so much quickly diminished. And again, there's nothing to really get them back into this position. They've been able to take out Sputo. And Kesner's just going. His teammates not particularly close behind. In fact, they're going in one by one. Just picked apart. It's not what we expected to see from KRU, especially after the last couple of rounds. And while Nags, he's now just trying to hold on to that operator, bring something through with him, and instead, he chooses to fight and loses.
Given the option of an op, and it will be secured. FPX happy to use it on the attack, of course. But someone like Artis roaming around, he's more than happy to get that scope back into his hands. That round is devastating. I mean, even the retake, the fact that they go in for that there are weaknesses clear here. You have a Spectre, a Bulldog. 3 players were still alive. And it's not going for the 3vx. I'm not against that. It is just the context. Kesnet just gets like baited in when he throws the knife, detects them, and he's like, screw it, they can't use their util, I'm gonna send it right now. And as it proved, that was the wrong decision.
Oh, the Viper's Pit. We've been waiting for it to be used, and now is definitely a good time to do it. Delzik has been fantastic so far in this map. The thing is, though, they're almost just choosing to avoid it on the other side. It does push them in towards Nags, but he doesn't have the greatest of weapons for this fight.
No, this probably isn't what you're looking for. The Bulldog, the Headhunter, some chances, some opportunities, but he's mainly relying on Mazzino. And Mazzino is playing there with a Spectre. He's going to grab the information, maybe the distraction as they attempt to come out. Almost paid for it with his life. And they're going to clear back yellow. I mean, now they've already put the knife down. And nice. Okay. They'll just run it back. They'll make it out safely. Map control for FPX, but they would have liked to take a player down here for sure.
I'll find you.
Again, Angel looking to try and garner some space. Zipan, he's spotted the angle. That's already going to be 1 to his name, but he can't quite correct onto the second. Angel again, though, just trying to pressure deep. I don't know if they're going to expect it to be. In fact, they have absolutely no idea. And the Snakebite has done so much damage to the res as well that Nags is now tagged desperately low, just needing to try and clear this aggressive position from the IGL. Bear in mind, the rest are already looking to try and wrap him from behind, but Angel is just doing absolutely everything. He's finally gone down, but look at Saigetsu. This is where he decides to pounce.
This is beautiful. I mean, his teammates need to hold on, though, because the angle, it isn't great. Now he's having to speed it up. The wall going down gives him the angle. The 1v1 that it comes down to, but the wall is blocking him off. He needs to sprint as fast as can be, and this time, Klaus faces 12 rounds on the board. Saigetsu was having flashbacks, but not this time. Map point on KRU's pick goes to FPX.
That's the thing. If that wall is slightly stronger, he might have just been able to stick that. But you can tell from Klaus made the right decision. It's like he would have been dead for sure if he tries to hold that all the way through, unless there was some sort of serious whiff on the other side. But Saigetsu is going to hold on to the round. Again, though, I am really loving this from Angel, the way he's playing this fade. They are having trouble to get into the afterplants, so he's just taking so much space that the plant can go down as a completely separate thing to what Angel is doing.
Last time they lost because of that collat that came through from Xiao. Now we have a wall that if it was placed 5 seconds later, they would have won the round. It's soul-crushing. From KRU's perspective, Kesnet, he's had a tough game so far, but that's tough. That is so much tougher. He got seized, he got naded, he got snake bit. Oh, wow, that is a toxic round coming out of FPX. Nags, 2 kills. This is winnable. They're trying to fight back into it. The spike only now going down. Plenty of time, but it's still a 2 versus 3. The numbers for FPX and the time on their side. The first kill is Artis's. And Delzik won't last too much longer. That is it. The first map, the pick of KRU, falls into FPX's hands.